Hello and welcome to 6 o'clock news with reporter Shamir Felix. That would be me. Today we're having a breaking news story on a book called Wolf by the Ears by Anne Rinaldi. This story is moving throughout the book because of its very different changes, whether you just started the book or you are far along. The story contains very vibrant detail that makes it very realistic, meaning that this story you can visualize what is really going on. The only thing this book has better than its vibe and detail is its unpredictable changes from chapter to chapter. These unpredictable changes are like a mystery that can never be solved. The foreshadowing used by the author is quite misleading. Although the book has its very difficult to understand changes, its constructive chapters towards a surprising ending is definitely worth reading. A small-town girl has a difficult choice to make. I'm sure we've all had one at some point in life. Whether it's what kind of ice cream you like, or if you'd like to marry or not. We've all had a choice to make. The choice that Harriet Hemings had to make was far worse than just a simple yes or no question. Harriet was a slave for Thomas Jefferson, one of our greatest leaders, might I add. As her two little brothers were far too little to help, she continued on. She loved writing, she also loved reading, and she had her best education of all her fellow slaves. As she grew up, she came to find that there were many things to life that she did not know. As a small slave, Harriet was trusted with the biggest responsibilities, meaning she not only helped Mama in the kitchen, but she also had to help with her younger siblings, which did nothing. But families will work together. Mama, Harriet, and her two little brothers all sat down and ate together at the dinner table. They told friendly stories about what they had seen in the field and how the temperature was. Things of that nature. Though or writing stories. Sometimes her tutor would even come to see her progress. She was quite talented at such a task, and she very much enjoyed it. Days passed and she continued with her skill. She grew better and better at it every day. One day, she was to have the choice on whether to go or stay. Where you go, you ask? Go north, where there are no slaves, or stay south as a slave, and leave all her family behind. Here comes the tough choice she must decide. Up north, she won't be a slave, free of care, where she would do all she has dreamed of. Although there is one downside. She doesn't want to leave her family. That would be the biggest decision of all time. Now, as her skill develops, her mind begins to decide best for not for her family, but what is best for her. But after one night, she became aware of all her selfish thoughts and began to think for both sides. It was a difficult choice for Harriet. She thought the best way to solve her problems were to run away from it. Sooner or later, she realized that could not be possible. For when things came to worse, her problems only grew larger. Harriet kept thinking and thinking, what should she do? Later on, Harriet came to find out that she was not only the slave of Thomas Jefferson, but his daughter as well. This troubled Harriet immensely. Harriet did not know what to do. She did not want to know what to do. She did not want to find out what to do. She just knew that her future was ruined, as she played herself as a white person instead of what they call a niggera in the book. A white person would usually split by and would not be a slave to any human being, as what they call in the book a niggera would also be black and would have to slip by as a slave. So, Harriet was troubled. She decided to play herself as a white person. So, as the daughter of Thomas Jefferson, she was not even worried. She thought that her dad would free all slaves, but Thomas Jefferson had no idea what to do, his feelings were mixed. They were emotional. He didn't know whether to get rid of the slave law or to pass down the trademark. Harriet was very, very, very preoccupied by what had gone down. She was a very amiable person. She was trusted, she was responsible, and she was anything that anybody ever wanted. What would Harriet do? What would you do? In other words, we also have a news reportage of the missing pencil box. A school kid said he had a pencil box with many, many guns in it. They were all just play guns, about the size of this much. He said that he put them all in his pencil box just to keep them safe, because he did not want anybody to know he had them in school. Since that was the only place he knew that was safe, he kept them, and he took them to school. Now this kid has been filed with weapon violence in school. Although he did not exactly use the weapon directly towards somebody, he did harm a poor duckling on the side of the road as he was walking home. And as all state laws require that as soon as you get off the bus, you are still on school property until you enter your front door. The kid was filed, and now he is going to the gift center, where things will be much stricter for him. We will be right back with this commercial. Thank you for joining us. Well, thank you for waiting. Thank you for your patience. We want to thank you for joining us tonight. And back to the whole subject of Harriet Hemings. We will finish this up because it's time for us to go, unfortunately. If you really want to pick up this book at the local library, you should. It is a great book. You must read what a courageous, passionate young lady had to go through her whole life. Harriet Hemings loved her home in Monticello, the home of Thomas Jefferson. She is the daughter of Sally Hemings, and supposedly the daughter of Master Thomas Jefferson. Something we now know to be true. Harriet's mother had secured her children's freedom from Jefferson, but Harriet was reluctant to accept her freedom, partially because she loves Jefferson. She loved Thomas Jefferson. And partially because she does not consider herself a slave. Harriet Hemings does not consider herself a slave. She thinks of her as a friendly servant, but a servant to Master Thomas Jefferson. The prospect of freedom also daunts her. But when Jefferson's grandson-in-law tries to rape her, Harriet realizes that the future at Monticello is not secure as her childhood has been, and she struggles to take steps to secure her freedom by learning how to pass in the world. Thank you for joining us on 11 Alive News. I'm Shamir Felix with the news reportage, and I want to thank you. If you'd like to visit me, my Facebook is www.facebook.com/arjenrobben77. That would be ARJENROBBEN77. If you'd like to email me, please do email me at dragoneye231@yahoo.com, DROGONI231@yahoo.com. If you would like to Twitter with me, well, I don't have a Twitter, I'm sorry, I don't do all that. Yes, thank you for joining us on 11 Alive News. My name is Shamir Felix, and I'm glad to serve you. Thank you very much, and I will see you soon.